It's Saturday afternoon and we're in Denver on 38th and Steel. Hi. I'm good. How are you doing? Good to see you. And we're here at the car protest. Cancel rents. Oh, here. Let me turn around. Looking at me. And oh, hi, honey. I dragged my son. He's in the car. He's going to take a nap. He's my conservative son. Oh. I know. So, can I take some of these? Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Okay, there. All right. So tape? Do you have tape? Do you have tape?
Someone has it.
Hi, yeah, they're probably using it. Hi, how are you? Good. Hey, so glad to be here. Hi, guys. Since COVID, 1 in 5 can't make rent. Cancel rents and mortgages.
I was like, you look like a person who's a newcomer. Yeah.
Who's got the tape? Who's got the tape? Do you know where? Do you have any tape? Tape? Yeah. I do need some tape. He's got some. Yeah. Do you have tape?
You can take it to your car.
I'll give it back.
Is it, okay. We borrowed that from someone in a car, so we were just about to return that. We've got this other tape that I can use, but it doesn't have a dispenser, but I've got a knife.
Yeah, I know. I'll bring it right back. Okay. Who's here? Oh, hi, Janet. How are you, babe? Are you gonna go to the feed tonight? We're gonna go in the car parade, but I got spaghetti. Where's my tripod, honey? Do you know? It didn't get taken in the house, did it? Levi, you're not asleep already, are you? Levi, do you know where my tripod is? Oh, it's over there.
You don't want a balloon on your antenna?
I do. Here, the balloon. Amazing. I'm on Facebook. Okay. Okay. All this stuff I got in the car. I got spaghetti.
This is our last.
Okay.
You guys been coming up to Denver a lot.
Oh no, I gotta hurry.
Probably, I would get the that might be like, we only have yeah. Thank you so much for coming out. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Let's see. Here. else is here? Toke. Toke.
Yo, man, that's the form.
Jody, hi, how are you? Oh. PSL. What about Trey? Well, I talked to Trey too.
All right, y'all. I'm going to teach you
PSL is
guys to
doing
do a
this.
chant. It's really easy. When I say
I listen to Trey.
cancel the rent and the mortgages, you guys are going to say now. So cancel the rent and the mortgages.
Now!
Cancel the rent and the mortgages.
Now!
Louder, I can't hear you. Cancel the rent and the mortgages.
Now!
All right, when I say power to the people, you say all power to the people. Power to the people.
All power to the people!
Power to the people.
All power to the people!
Power to the people.
All power to the people!
That's right.
That
Good
is right.
afternoon, everyone. I'm Lizzie with the Party for Socialism and Liberation.
Woo-hoo!
We are here today because we need to be. We're here because the people of this country are undergoing a slow death by neglect, and if we do not advocate for ourselves, no one else will. We're here because even though there has been a figurehead in the capitalist U.S. government, there is still no substantial relief for the people after almost 11 months of this deadly coronavirus pandemic. This is unacceptable.
Yep.
Unemployment, food insecurity, and poverty are at their highest point since the Great Depression in the 1930s. While more and more people are having to resort to food lines, while more and more people are having to set up GoFundMe pages for their medical expenses, the federal government has thrown us 2 pitiful checks that don't even begin to cover the breadth of our expenses. When it comes to the crisis in housing, their solution to the eviction, or has been the eviction moratorium, which they hold up as some gift, but we all know that all that does is hold off until one day we're all going to have to miraculously come up with thousands of dollars of back rent to pay our landlords. When the moratorium ends at the end of March, 1/3 of renters in this country may be at risk of eviction. That's millions of people at risk of being thrown out onto the streets in the dead of winter while the pandemic is still raging. We are here today, joined with people in over 30 cities around the country, to demand a real federal program for housing relief. And that means no evictions, no foreclosure, and rent cancellation. We demand this, or we place this demand on Governor Polis, who has the power to cancel the rent for the state of Colorado. We demand housing rights for undocumented people. We demand housing for the homeless instead of sweeping their encampment. And we can win these things, but only with the fighting movement of the people. With that, I would like to bring up our first speaker. He's a Denver resident and a member of the Party for Socialism and Liberation. Make some noise for Comrade Yafet.
Hello, my name is Yafet, and I'm an organizer for the Party for Socialism and Liberation. Thank you for coming out today for this urgent call for rent and mortgage cancellation. Right now, the people of this country are facing a dual crisis: a deadly pandemic and a government that cares more about profits than its people. The government has been so unwilling to disrupt profits that 400,000 are dead, and tens of millions are hungry or jobless and are on the edge of eviction. We are here because without a fight back, we're about to enter a colossal crisis. The crisis of what happens when the eviction moratoriums expire and tens of millions are still unable to pay. There are 40 million people who may be facing eviction. 40 million people who can't pay when the unpaid rent comes due. This is a historic number. Almost 12% of the entire country's population could be on the streets virtually overnight. The reality reality is that though we have a president who said he was different, who said he'd do better for people, we're still looking at more of the same. We are here to say the solution is simple and it is non-negotiable. No evictions, no foreclosures, cancel rents and mortgages. Anything less is not enough. And we know what they want to say. They'll say, okay, who's going to pay for this? Well, that's easy. Make the banks pay. The banks have received hundreds of billions of dollars to keep them flush during the pandemic, while the people receive scraps. The banks can't afford to suspend rent and mortgage payments. This is not radical. It is time that we demand from our government what the people need to survive. Make no mistake that it is possible. This is the richest country in the history of the world. Many things are possible. The people in power believe that they can get away with trampling us, with making us suffer, making us absorb the blows of the crisis. The only way we can change things is to become a force to be reckoned with and demand what we need. We're out here today alongside people in over 30 cities, standing up and demanding real relief from our government. We call on Joe Biden and Governor Polis, both who have the power to cancel rents, to stop evictions, to stop foreclosures, to act now. Both these politicians ran campaigns posing themselves as friends of the people. Well, it's time to prove it. They have the power. Poor people are in crisis. There's no excuse but to institute these policies now. And we will keep fighting and keep growing stronger because we have no choice but to fight. And we will show them. Who's got the power?
We got the power.
What kind of power?
People power.
All right, thank you.
Let's keep that going. Who's got the power?
We got the power.
What kind of power?
People power.
Who's got the power?
We got the power.
What kind of power?
People power.
That's right. Now, in the spirit of workers' power, I want to bring up our last speaker, a teacher, elected board member of the Denver Classroom Teachers Association, a mother, and a fighter. Please welcome us, Moira Casados Cassidy. All right, thanks a lot. Like Lizzie said, my name is Moira. I'm a teacher, I'm a mom, I'm a union activist, I'm a member, an organizer with the Party for Socialism and Liberation. I'm out here to speak today as a person who's dedicated my career to helping kids and who also believes that human needs are more important than corporate profits. I don't get a lot of guff for the first part of that. People think it's admirable that I help kids. But when I suggest that we could actually make children's lives better by moving beyond capitalism, by ending homelessness, joblessness, sickness, misery, all of those things that come with capitalism, people call me a radical. I take that as a compliment. I'm an English teacher, so you'll have to forgive me for this, but the word radical is often misunderstood. It comes from the Latin radicalis, right? Spanish raíces. It means, like in the words of Angela Davis, that we take a problem at the roots. A lot of problems are popping up like weeds in our world today. One of those problems that I've dealt with as a union activist and as a parent is the idea of how we're supposed to educate our children in this time of crisis. Our government has been so criminally negligent that they've left us with only bad choices. We're told parents and families should fend for themselves, try to pay the rent, try to find childcare while the schools are closed. Either that, or we accept the risk of increasing infections, outbreaks, quarantines, and death in our community by opening the schools. Those are the two choices that are given to us in this capitalist system, but it's a false choice. Let me explain. This campaign to cancel the rents and the mortgages goes to the root of the problem. Right now, politicians are refusing to give us the aid that we need to survive because they put the needs of the banks and the big corporations first. A byproduct of this is that working people are pitted against one another. We're told that parents should fight against the teachers, the parents who are struggling to survive and pay the rent, who have to go to work and don't know where they're going to send their kids, that they should fight against the teachers who are afraid for their lives to go into work. We're even divided within those groups. The parents who can afford to stay home are divided against the parents who can't. The teachers who can accept the risk of going into buildings are divided against those who cannot accept that risk. This is because capitalism seeks to isolate us from the people with whom we have the most in common. When working people like teachers and parents are taught to drag each other down like crabs in a bucket, then we forget we don't have time to pay attention to what's really going on. I need that piece of paper. Maybe I don't. What's really going on is that last year our government authorized $4.5 trillion, that's trillion with a T, dollars in cash payments and ultra-low interest loans to the banks and corporations in this country. $4.5 trillion. Every year, our government spends $1 trillion to maintain 1,000+ military bases around the world. Joe Biden has pledged tens of millions of dollars to the murderous and around this country that we were out in the streets fighting to shut down. And these are the people who come to us and say we don't have money for housing. These are the people who come to us and say, wear the same one-time use mask every day this week because we don't have money to buy you a new one. We don't have money for medical masks for children in schools. We don't have money for nurses in schools. We don't have money for social workers. How's my student supposed to apply to college if they don't know what their address is next week? How's my student supposed to get an education if they're listening to my class on headphones while they're stocking shelves at Walmart to help their parents pay their rent? And why do we keep buying the lies of these capitalist politicians who tell us they care about the next generation, who tell us they care about kids, when they don't give a damn about their parents? I'll say this, if you are struggling to pay rent, if you are struggling to buy diapers, to buy groceries, to pay for childcare, don't be ashamed. We're all struggling. We're on the same team. I'm fighting with you. Right now is a time when we push through the isolation and the shame and the divisiveness to come together to fight for what we need. It's not enough to beg for crumbs for a $600 check. We want the whole damn cake. We're living through cruel times right now. We're living through a prolonged period of negligence and hate that is designed to make us tired. It is designed to pit us against each other and demoralize us and isolate us. But let's be radical. Let's take the weed by the root and pull it up. We demand an end to rents and mortgages. Nothing less. We demand an end to homelessness. Nothing less. We demand an end to joblessness, sickness. We demand an end. Nothing less. They call us essential workers. We are essential. We run this society. And now it's about time for us to get organized and run it for ourselves. Thank you. Thank you. When I say power to the people, you say? Power to the people. Power to the people. All power to the people. Power to the people. All power to the people. Let's give one more round of applause to our speakers. All right, before we get started, I want to give some instructions. Everyone should have a copy of the route by now. Please drive slow so that the people behind you can keep up. Please obey all traffic laws. We're going to be going through some residential areas, so please stop at the stop signs and watch for pedestrians. The people in the green vest will escort the cars out of the parking lot. Are y'all ready? All right, let's go. If you needed a copy of the route, we have some extras up here.
There you go. You go down. You go down. Bye. Bye.
Hi, Carol.
My son is munching. Oh, my son's asleep in the car. It's got it locked, too. It's dark. Okay. Okay, it's time to go. We're going to drive.
Today, and use code SPORTS for a special offer when you sign up. That's code SPORTS for a special offer when you sign up. Only at DraftKings
Okay.
Sportsbook.
Yeah, turn off the video.
2021 is the year of you.
Okay, we're going to drive now, honey. You got to follow. Are you going to drive or do you want me to drive? Okay. All right, he's going to drive, he says. He says he's going to drive. Okay. Hi. Here, we'll hold this for a minute. Want to fix this? I really should have bought those. Is he kidding? This is... What? It's filming, you know. Anyway, this is filming. Okay? And I can't get it to...
How do I follow?
Watch the directions. Let me see. Here's some out. Here's some out.
Hey, what's up?
Who is it? Janet? Hi. She says hi. She says H-I-G-H, huh?
That's funny.
I know she's funny.
What's the door?
Janet, my son is still hanging out with me.
At the socialist rally.
He's just
I never dreamed on this day.
so silly. You slept in the car.
I love volunteering, but there's certain things I am not a part of. Okay, seriously.
Okay. You're gonna have to honk. You're gonna drive. You're gonna have to honk.
I see a cigarette, please. Jesus. Come on, close the door. Are we just sitting here? We're not driving?
No, we're gonna drive. Get ready.
We're just really...
We're making noise.
It's just annoying. I do double high, but I can't. That's funny.
What?
I do double high, but I can't.
Oh.
Love you all. Thank you.
Ash, we're gonna come. We've got spaghetti.
Is that Ash?
That's Tara.
No.
Her daughter's name is Ash. That's Tara. We're gonna come. Hopefully. Oh, if we're still driving at 4 o'clock, we'll break off and come over there. I've got spaghetti.
Yeah, we'll make this quick. Jesus Christ.
Go! Yes, we're gonna work hard.
It's just so weak. I like this.
Car pushes. Huh? Get out! Beep, 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 beep.
Just lower myself down. What?
You're raising yourself up. No, you have to sit upright. You have to pay attention. You're gonna drive, but you have
I
to
know.
pay attention.
I can pay attention.
Okay, go sit up.
No, I can't. It's uncomfortable. Shut the fuck up and drive. Oh, Jesus. Welcome to Socialism Liberation. We are here today because we believe that no hopeless socialism. Oh no. Oh no.
That's okay. You got the heater on. Roll down the window, baby. I should have got this. Hug, hug, hug. Beep, 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 beep. Roll down your window, babe. I can't hear you.
That's our first time.
What you want anyway?
Oh,
Thanks.
your choice. Or
Roll down.
Christmas.
Go. Yes, you can drive it.
You're driving a fucking side. Stop. Yes. Oh, dude, it led my fucking car out. Oh, I'm fucking. Sorry. Carefully driving, thank you. I love you, Carol. Yeah, right. Okay. Huh? I should have been here. Sorry, I love you already. I have it, sir. I'm sure it'll be back.
Let me honk. You drive it along. It just it has this, it looks like a little fairy tale house. We're crossing her house. We have to honk it.
Just
She's a cat.
people are trying to do the fucking job.
There he is.
That, right? Screw us. They got, yeah, we'll probably do that. Folks.
People have to look at it. Just reach out. Look at it. on, hey. She's still at the hospital. Babe, she just got out of surgery. She's now in recovery. Oh, love you too. Ash, or Tara. Just trying to find everything goes well. In my purse.